Alexa got in some trouble, in the third round. And so I give the first round to Valentina. I give the second round 10-9 to Alexa Grasso. I give the third.
Could it be a 10-8-5 if there was that half
yes,
point?
it could have been. I would
see. That's the difference. It's definitely not.
No,
a 10-8.
it's definitely not a 10-8. But I would have probably given it a 10-8-5. The third round, I give to Valentina. But it was a close round, but not really. I give it to Valentina. Had the back, had the control, all of these things. Everyone keeps talking about this fourth round. But in that fourth round, John, what were the most significant strikes of the round? The knees to the head. She lifted.
I was going to say that when she's dragging her trying to drag her hand on the ground, and she's getting knee to the head, and it's like, you need to understand, and people need to understand, Herb did a good job of not doing the stop time, and say, oh, that's illegal. You must bear weight on that hand, and she was not. She's trying to put her fingers down, her hand down to make herself a grounded fighter, and Alexa, she's actually picking her up.
Yeah.
She's moving her hand out. Good job. Continue on. March on.
I thought it was brilliant. She did that was like 4 to 5 of those until she got her to the fence. Then she landed some good strikes. I gave that round to Alexa Grasso. She had the most significant strikes in the round. She landed some good shots. There was several shots in the fourth that she hit Valentina, and Valentina actually took a step back. Even listening to some of the commentary, the first time I didn't listen to the commentary, second time I did to see, they kept saying, "Oh, Valentina's that jab is just this, that jab is that." But Alexa Grasso never went backwards off the jab. She faded her head back, never really got hit. And when she did, she covered really well, and that was it. Like the shots from the jab, if you look at the jabs from Alexa Grasso landing on Valentina, those shots mattered. You had Valentina moving backwards. It was
She also had some very nicely timed elbows in the clinch.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Valentina had a couple good moments in that round, but I gave the round, the lift and the big slam and all that in round 4 by Alexa Grasso. The knees were the most significant strike. All of those things, potentially getting the back, lost the back position, got back to her feet. All of those things, stuffing takedowns. For me, in my mind, now I don't know how they do this in terms of the judging. If you shoot a takedown and you don't get it and I lift you back up, I kind of score that as like, I stuffed you. It's even. It's even, but it's like I stopped what you were doing.
That's right.
And so
but you do not give any type of credit to defensive actions. And when you stuff my takedown attempt, it stops me from taking you down, but the judge doesn't give you credit for a defense.
No, he doesn't.
You have to do something offensive. You stuff my takedown, and as we're getting up, you land a now it becomes offensive.
And then on top of that, the way that Alexa Grasso finished the round, she went for broke. She did the roll through, tried to attack the heel hook. You finished the round. The last thing in the judge's mind, last thing in my mind when I watched that round was she's getting the heel hook. She's putting the heel hook on Valentina Shevchenko. Yeah. There's no doubt in my mind she won the fourth round. So I mean, you have her now, like we said, 2-2 going into the fifth.
2-2.
There's no way there's no way I'm not judging the fifth round for Valentina Shevchenko.
Grasso?
It's gonna go to Alexa Grasso for sure. I don't need the 10-8 round to win. That's the thing. Like Valentina made a mistake. You went for it. It didn't happen. I don't see what the argument is. There's a lot of people making a big stink out of this, and I felt like we had to do a quick recap on this whole thing because this isn't like go back and watch the fight. It's
because you have other people out there, and you got guys that are commentators and doing part. Mike Bisping, he believes that Shevchenko won. He thinks that it was she won the fight, and it's like, okay, I'm glad you do, but no, I don't believe she did. I think that Grasso, if you watch the fight again and you give credit for domination of not domination, but credit for damage in the fight, things that were effective. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for effective actions that affect the fighter in a negative fashion. And I got to give it, Grasso was the one that won those times. She had that effect on Valentina that Valentina didn't have as much on Grasso.
Well, with Bisping, right? I mean, I don't know what he's talking about with damage. If you go back and you watch his fight with Dan Henderson, we're not obviously judging it based off facial features and what happened in that fight. So you can't say because you had a cut that it worked. Oh, that person did more damage. I mean, that shit happens to a lot of people.
I can tell you, look at that fight. I was with Randy Couture. We were at Randy's house watching that fight. And obviously Randy is rooting for Dan Henderson, right? And Dan wins the first 2 rounds, and he has got Mike looking like he's been run over by a truck. And Mike ends up just winning the rounds. Next round, 4th round, and 5th round, because Dan got tired. And Randy said, "John, look at his face." I go, he won those rounds. But then he lost the next 3, and that's why Michael Bisping is still the champ. You can't always go off of. Sometimes you want to look, but you look at both of them here. She's got 1 mark. Grasso's got 1 mark under her eye. Okay, Valentina's got not a mark. She got little lumps, but those were blows that were counted by the judges, and you don't sit there and go, "Oh my God, she's got a bump." You give the credit for when the bump was created, and then it's over.
She had a little cut, I believe, over the left eye, and then she had the little bump underneath the same eye, I believe. That's it. In 5 rounds, 25 minutes of fighting. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Bisping looked like the Elephant Man when Dan Henderson got done, and Bisping still won the fight. So I don't know what the damage you're talking about. And I like Bisping, man. I actually think he does a great job behind the mic, and I think he does a great job with all the other stuff that he does for the UFC. But in this case, I think he's wrong. And not just him. There's been plenty of other people that have come out and said stuff. And I think that when you go back and watch it, now I think a lot of where their gripe comes from is the 10-8 round in the 5th.
Absolutely. That's in the end, when you look at it, and I could look at, the scorecard throughout and go, I don't agree with the scorecard in this round either. And that's just my opinion. Just like you have your opinion, just like Mike has his opinion. But I could look at the scorecard and go, I don't agree with that round either. But that round went for Valentina. And so I look and go, hey, look, I believe that, judges care. And this is where people get into this. Oh, they're just sitting there. Trust me, they care, and they're trying to do the very best job they can. And sometimes you get caught up in the fight. And I believe that in this moment that the judge looked and gave more credit to that 1.5 minutes than it was, than he should have based upon the action that occurred. That action absolutely evened out the round and then overtook Valentina in the round, so that the round should have gone to Alexa Grasso, but not enough, in my opinion, to make it a 10-8.
Dave, was it Daniel Cormier that came out and said that she deserves an automatic rematch? Did I see that somewhere?
Check.
That Valentina should get the automatic rematch?
I don't think so. Well, she's not going to. She broke her thumb. She's going to have surgery on her thumb.
Got it.
She pulled the Josh Thomson in there.
I thought there was something I had seen that DC had said that she deserves an automatic rematch.
He might have.
But look, I asked you that same thing the next day when we were filming our post show on this. Does she get an automatic rematch? I don't think so. You've lost to her once by submission. You lost a close decision on this one.
Well, not lost. It was
a draw. Sorry. She doesn't have the title. She lost. That's the way. I'm sorry. That's the way I look at it.
Honestly, that's the way everyone's looking. Because you listen to people, they all say Alexa Grasso beat Shevchenko. It's like, no,
it was a draw. You're right. But the person who walks away from with the title is the one who pretty much won.
She's the queen.
Yeah, she's the queen right now. But then there's this tendency, John, to think because you were the champion for 1 or 2 fight title defenses, you deserve an automatic rematch. Now, Valentina, I thought in the first fight, she made a mistake. She was kind of coming on in that fight, kind of taking over the fight a little bit. She made a mistake, and Grasso got her back and choked her, and says, "Yeah, see right here."
He wants to see it.
He wants to see it. No, I do. I agree. I want to see the trilogy fight also. I don't want to see it next, though.